So one day I will stop saying so when I start, but not today. Uh, we have done our third daily three, which is part of the Language Atelier, which is part of the Life Atelier, my coaching platform. And again, me and Juanpe this morning, we are the early birds. We've got a later session today, but definitely me and Juanpe are doing the morning sessions. We are committed. And I wanted to share a couple of things from it. So one ChatGPT tool, I might separate the videos or no, I'll just put them all together. It doesn't matter. But I also want to share my progress doing the daily three. So daily three is we pick a voice model. A voice model is somebody who speaks the target language, the language we're learning. They're either a native speaker or they have a high level, right? You don't need to have a native speaker all the time. People get very obsessed with having a native speaker. One of my favorite examples for my students when I was teaching English was Elif Shafak, okay, the Turkish author. Because for me, you can hear she has an accent 100%, right? But it's beautiful and it's soft. It's very she has this lovely way of using English that I would say is much more skilled than, a native speaker. So we want to think about what our goals are before we pick this person. Then when we picked this person, and what I like to think about is, do they represent your personality in that language, right? Are they around your age? Do they do something similar? So that's why, oh, all right, I'm back. That was Rita's food being delivered, and the lovely delivery man gave me a quick French lesson because he was teaching me how to say I'm coming, j'arrive, whereas I was like, I will go. So again, point in question, once we decide that we are learning, and we decide that we are going to fail and fail fast, we can get little mini lessons from absolutely everybody. And he was very cute and very nice. So voice model, we picked the voice model based on how we want to represent ourselves in our language that we're learning. We think about, what are our priorities in terms of what we want to talk about. Okay, Rita, venga, come here. Rita, come. Come on, baby, come on. Okay, and here is Rita, just in case you are new to the podcast and my world. Welcome to the chaos, the beautiful chaos. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're picking our voice models based on our goals, where we are. We can update them as well. So get the voice model, right? And if you're also doing the Life Atelier coaching model, you can look at these in terms of, when you're doing the Life Atelier daily planning with your future self, you've got your project, right? The same as we've got our voice model. And then we've got three things. So number one, we do our transcription. Now, I wanted to share my transcription with you today. And what you'll see is this is the black is what I was able to do in 5 minutes. Okay. Any of these spaces are because I couldn't hear the word, right? So sometimes we can't hear the word because we don't know it, or we're hearing something else. I'll put a photograph of this somewhere so that you can see, because you'll notice some of the words are super similar. But what my brain is doing is filling it in from Spanish or from English, which is why I haven't done a new nice transcript that's clean where I can see the perfect version and then the messy version. I'm putting it over the top because I want my brain to see these differences, okay? And to see okay, there is an alternative here when it's listening. Some things that I noticed that I wanted to share with you. Really interesting. Number one, the number of similar sounding words where my brain was just replacing them. So I heard j'assume instead of j'ai reçu. Okay, so your brain will be doing the same thing. Your brain is constantly trying to fill in the puzzle pieces of communication. So we want to just recognize that's great. It means there are already sounds there. Okay, and now we're building on them. Number two, this filling in the gaps. So for me, learning French, if you're learning English or you're learning French, English has something called connected speech, which means that we sort of melt words together and we link them, okay? And French is very similar. So there are these little words like en fait, alors, that I am not hearing. And if you're doing that with English, they're not essential to the sentences, okay? They're not essential for the communication. So there is a very good reason that your brain doesn't hear them. And so then the transcription helps us to identify them because that's how we sound more natural and that's how we connect when we're using another language. Instead of just using perfect sentences where every word is important and relevant, we're throwing in a like, oof, okay, and putting in all these little extra bits. That's how we communicate. Noticing that, yeah, I'm noticing that when I do this writing, wow, it's helping my spelling. It's really helping my spelling. That's something I hadn't thought about before. I am noticing all the extra accents and things that I wouldn't have noticed. Again, depending on the language that you're learning, this is more or less important. Spanish is very, very much phonetic. I didn't really need to bother with this very much with Spanish because what you hear is what you write and what you say. These two pen colors, yeah, I think I've mentioned that. And also, yeah, I noticed that I'm not hearing the ends of the words. And this is why the transcription is so important, because it will help you to identify things that you probably think you're using, and then you realize you're not. So I'm going to pause, go grab my phone because I left it in my bag when I answered the door, and then show you our new ChatGPT trick. So got phone, got the ChatGPT app open. The first thing I'm going to say is this is another one from Juanpe, my morning buddy on the Life Atelier member. And the reason I want to share that, as well as giving him credit for it, is just to talk about why community is so important. Because Juanpe has engineer brain, which means he is looking at all of these like icons and things to explore. He wants to know, what are they? How do they work? Now, I do not have engineer brain. I am quite happy not knowing a lot of things. I really like, I love learning new things, but I'm also not necessarily looking for them. It's just like constant little surprises throughout the day. What that then means when we're working together and we're part of the same community is he's discovering these things that are really fantastic. And then I'm using my skills, which is to share them with other people, to share them with you. So if you are doing something on your own, I just want you to think about like, how might it be easier, more fun, more playful, more exciting, get better results if you're doing that in community. And obviously that's then a pitch for you to come and join my community. So I'm going to record the screen as we go, and maybe I can find a way to share it at the same time. If not, I'll just put it in another video. All right, so let's get the screen recording going. Okay, so I'll just show you what I can see on here too. So yesterday we used the microphone. Today we're going to tap that headphone, right? And you'll see it connecting, okay? And now it's listening to me because I've already chosen a voice. So you'll see what it says is finish speaking to send, okay? Tap to send manually. Okay, so this is voice chat. And what it means is I can speak to it with my voice and it's going to reply to me with its voice. Before, it gave me the option to pick four voices from four voices. They were in English because my ChatGPT is in English. And now what I'm going to do is see if I can start to talk to it in French. Okay. Bonjour, moi je m'appelle Emma. Est-ce que c'est possible que nous pouvons en conversation en français quand vous êtes mon professeur? Okay, that hasn't worked. Hi, can I have a conversation with you?
Sure. What's on your mind?
So I would actually like to use you as my French teacher and practice having a conversation in French. Is that possible?
Bien sûr. Je serais ravie de vous aider à pratiquer votre français. Par quoi voulez-vous commencer?
Donc, parfait. Je ne sais pas. Est-ce que c'est possible que vous... Oui, oui, je sais. Moi, je veux pratiquer la conversation avec vous, mais je dois que apprendre, utilise le temps. Je veux utiliser tout en place de vous parce que je suis juste vous tous les temps et j'ai un problème avec tout.
D'accord, je comprends. Voulez-vous pratiquer l'utilisation des temps verbaux en français? Par exemple, le présent, le passé composé et le futur.
Oui, oui, exactement. Mais moi, je veux pratique avec spécialement tout parce que je suis sans le juste vous tout le temps.
Ah, je vois. Vous voulez pratiquer en utilisant tu au lieu de vous. C'est bien ça?
Exactement. Donc, et aussi, est-ce que c'est possible pour faire une transcrite de la conversation avec l'explication en anglais pour mes devoirs?
Oui, bien sûr. Je vais t'aider à pratiquer en utilisant tu et à fournir des explications en anglais. Par quoi veux-tu commencer?
Donc, nous terminer parce que je dois que travailler maintenant, mais je retourner plus tard.
D'accord, pas de problème. À plus tard et bon travail.
Okay, so basic, yes, so cool, so cool. Right, so look, sorry, if you're not speaking any French, basically, I was asking her, is it possible that you can act as my French teacher and you can correct me as we go, and that you can create a transcript of this conversation, which you will see. We have the transcript here, okay? And now, could you give me a summary of this conversation with the English grammar explanation so that I can use it to review later today? Okay, and now I'm asking it, you'll see here, I'm asking it to give me a summary with the, as you heard, okay, as you heard. All right, and now you can see ChatGPT is preparing my lesson, my notes to review, right? Fan-bloody-tastic. Now, if you are a teacher and you're thinking like, oh my God, my career is over, this is not true. I really want to just highlight how this is skill building in one area, and the focus still is on communication and connection. This is just a tool that means we can jump to prioritizing actual connection and communication in person. This is a longer video than I meant to make, but I think it's worth it. All right. See you tomorrow. Who knows what we'll have learned?